Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
I used to dread shopping for car insurance. Endless forms, terrible hold music, and somehow my rate always went up. Then I found Jerry. Jerry handles the entire insurance shopping process, from comparing quotes side by side to purchasing your policy, and even helping you cancel your old coverage, all in one app. In just minutes, Jerry checked for quotes from more than 50 top insurers. It's fast, easy, and totally free to try. Before you renew your policy, download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/SXM.
Hey guys, welcome to your Sunday Pep Talk, a little something to get you going as you start the new week or empower you wherever this finds you today. Our conversation is going to be inspired by a poster that I saw, actually, and it was way too harsh to be the title of this episode, but the power that it brought, I thought was so profound, it deserved a moment. The poster said, and I'm going to bleep it myself, F your feelings, stick to the plan. F your feelings, stick to the plan. And that is so harsh and so hardcore. And also, that can be a really helpful mantra. Allow me to explain. Because today's pep talk is for the version of you that gets knocked off track by your emotions. Now, I know not everybody is like me. Not everybody is deep inside of perimenopause and feels like they are constantly treading water in an emotional soup. But I do think that many of us make decisions based on how we feel, not what is best. We don't do that because we're weak. We don't do that because we're overly dramatic. We do it because we're human. But here's the truth. While feelings are real, they are not facts. You can feel like you're not good enough. You can feel like it's not going to work. You can feel like quitting or hiding or skipping the thing you said you would do or ghosting the appointment or numbing out. But just because you feel like doing those things doesn't mean you should. F your feelings, stick to the plan. It's so hardcore. But the message underneath, even if that tone is too intense, the message underneath, there's something to that. Sometimes your emotions are going to try and run the show. And that's when your higher self needs to step in. See, I think it's typically the higher, more evolved version of ourself who made the plan in the first place. That's a version of you that sat down at the beginning of the month or the beginning of this week or maybe at the start of this quarter. That version of you was excited and inspired. And in that higher state, you laid out a vision for your life. You laid out a vision for your life and you figured out the steps you were going to have to take in order to get there. You've got to stick to the plan that you made when you were clear-headed and aligned and inspired, even though the hard days are going to try and hijack your progress. The version of you who made the plan, she was grounded. She was wise. She had perspective. The version of you who wants to abandon it is probably tired, probably overwhelmed, maybe in survival mode. And you can listen to her and you can love that version of you, but please do not let that version of you steer the ship. Let's talk about the ship for a second, because y'all know I love an analogy. Imagine that you are in a ship and you're crossing an ocean or a sea, and you've got your map and you've got your compass and you know the exact route that you need to take, and a storm arises. It comes up and all of a sudden there's waves and winds and chaos. Because there's a storm, would your instinct ever be to throw the map overboard? Would the instinct ever be to get rid of the tools that you have? Get rid of the compass, get rid of the oars, maybe just stand there and like go get back in bed? No, no way. Here's the thing. Your feelings, that's the storm. That's the weather. Your plan is the map. You got to stick to the map because this storm, it will pass. They always do. Tomorrow, you're not going to feel so tired. Tomorrow, you won't feel so overwhelmed. You'll take the steps that you need to. Maybe in a few days, things will balance back out and you'll feel better. It always comes back around. And knowing that it always comes back around, it means that we've got to find the tenacity to stick to the plan, even when we don't feel like it. The map that you're holding on to in the hard moments, that's the map you created when you were calm, when you were aligned, when you were rested, when you felt connected to your values and your vision and your purpose. Your state affects the beliefs that you have, the questions that you ask, and because it affects the questions that you ask in those moments, it will also affect the answers that you get, right? Like when you're in a good headspace, you'll ask, what kind of life do I really want to build? And what matters most to me right now? And how can I show up as the best version of myself? And how can I be a better leader, a better mama, a better friend? When you're in a low emotional state, the questions change. The questions become, why do I work this hard when I don't get any results? Or what's the point? Nobody cares. Or am I even good enough? Like, why am I trying to do this? In our lower state, we are not making good decisions. We are not asking good questions. And therefore, that version of us should not be in charge. So you got to plan your days, your routines, your goals, your intentions from the space of your highest self, from the clear-minded, vision-holding, calm but powerful version of you. That way, when the storm rolls in and emotions try and take your wheel, you already have a roadmap that you can trust. And here's how you do it. It's this simple. You don't think about it. You work the plan. You don't think about it, you work the plan. Your emotions can't get carried away if you don't give them firepower, and they get their power from your thoughts. So if you will stay focused on the plan, you will get the result you intended to get, not the swirling emotional storm that halts you in your progress. There's a story I love about a farmer, and the farmer wakes up every single morning to tend his fields. And some days are sunny, and some days are cold, and some days are miserable. But the farmer doesn't wait for perfect weather because he knows that if he doesn't plant in the spring, he doesn't have a harvest in the fall. He can't decide that he doesn't feel like it today because if he doesn't do that work when he needs to do that work, he's not going to be able to reap what he's planted. The crops don't care about his mood. The harvest depends on consistency, not feelings. The same goes for your dreams. Where have your feelings been steering your ship lately? Where have you been tempted to give up on the plan that you made with such care and such clarity? I mean, honestly, maybe you give up on the plan that you make once or twice a week, and then every single week it resets and you try again. What does it look like for you to stick to the plan? Maybe you've been skipping habits. Maybe you've stopped showing up. Maybe you've convinced yourself that this thing you wanted so badly, it just wasn't worth it anymore. But that's not your truth speaking. That's your tired self. That's your discouraged self. That's your lower state trying to protect you from discomfort. But the plan, the one made by your higher self, that's still good. That still matters. That still deserves your effort. Here's the mantra for this week. I can feel all my feelings and still show up for myself. Because showing up, even when it's messy, is how you become someone who keeps their word to themselves, to their vision, to their future. You don't have to feel amazing. You don't need motivation. You just need to stick to the plan you made on a better day. That version of you knew what she was doing. Trust her.
Pandora makes it easy for you to find your favorite music. Discover new artists and genres by selecting any song or album, and we'll make you a personalized station for free. Download on the Apple App Store or Google Play and enjoy the soundtrack to your life.
At Strayer University, we help students like you go from will I to why not. For over 130 years, we've been innovating higher education to make it more affordable, accessible, and attainable so you can reach your goals. Go from thinking, can I, to yes, I can, and keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.